If you're trying to decide which Luzz paddle is actually worth buying, this ranking will save you both time and money. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a comparison and review of all three of the main Luzz paddles. This will include the Inferno, the Tornado, and the Cannon being the main three. I'm going to give a very short breakdown on the power, control, feel, and value of all three of these paddles, and then rank them based on performance and value. By the end of the video, you should be able to figure out which one of these is going to best fit your playstyle. As always, I do have a discount code for these paddles as well. It gives you 15% off of any of the Luzz paddles, so if you guys are interested in purchasing any of these, make sure to use that code. So starting off with the Luzz Cannon. This paddle is best for players who want pure power. The power of this paddle is very high. It definitely shows up a lot on the drives, counters, and putaways right there at the kitchen. The control, I would grade it as a B graded control. I would say it's very good on dinks and drops, but whenever you're hitting resets, the extra pop and power on the face might send that reset a little bit deep. The feel of this paddle is a very classic Gen 3 feel with that very stiff and hollow feedback that a lot of people love. It does have good feedback on off-center hits and has a very good sweet spot. Now to the price, it's a $93 paddle with a code, $109 without a code, which is a very good value for such a high-performing paddle. If you do care more about performance than durability, I would say this paddle is best for you. So now on to the Tornado. I would say for the Tornado, this paddle is best suited for players who want more of an all-court experience with the power paddle. The power of this paddle is very good, but it does have a little bit of extra pop on top of that power to give it a more energy off the face. I would say the power shows a lot, especially on very topspin heavy drives and overheads putting the ball away. I would say this paddle has a lot more control than the Cannon, especially comparing it up there at the kitchen on softer shots. Dinks and resets feel a lot better and feel a lot more controlled with the Tornado. Now the feel of this paddle is a very soft and dense feel. It is a little stiff at first, but after playing with it a little bit, it breaks in and starts to get more of a softer, dense feel. I think the Tornado has a better sweet spot than the Cannon and has a little bit better feedback when it comes to off-center hits. Now the Tornado comes in at $229 without a code. With a code, it's $194. I would say for players who are wanting more of that all-court experience of a good balance between power and control, the Tornado would be the best suited for them. So now on to the Inferno. I would say that this paddle is best suited for people who want the most amount of power with the most amount of control. The power of this paddle is very high, and you can definitely tell that the most whenever you're putting the ball away with an overhead or hitting a very topspin heavy drive. But with that power, having a lot of control, which some of the other paddles lack, is where this paddle shines the most. The control right there at the kitchen is very good. Very good on dinks, drops, and resets under pressure, while also having a hollow feel. It does have very good feedback on off-center hits, especially the MPP core. Pocketing the ball a little bit more allows you to place that ball a lot better than some of the other paddles. The price of the Inferno is the exact same as the Tornado, $229 with no code, $194 with the code. If you value durability and performance at the same time, this is going to be the best pick for you. So comparing all three, first off, we're going to start with the most power. I think the Inferno has the most power. That MPP core, pocketing the ball and shooting it off the face is very deadly and sets it in a high S tier of power. Now, coming into the best control, I think the Inferno still takes that as well. That MPP core pocketing the ball and giving a lot of opportunity for placement is very important in high-level pickleball, and I think the Inferno takes it without a doubt. Now, coming into the best feel, personally, I think that the Cannon has a better feel than all three. Just because that Gen 3 stiff and hollow feel is a lot more familiar with most people and wouldn't take as much time adjusting. And then lastly, the best value also takes it from the Cannon. I think the Cannon is the best value no matter what. $93 for a very high performing paddle is something that not a lot of companies can beat. So now getting into the rankings. At the number 3 spot, the Cannon clearly takes it. Yes, it is a very good value for $93 and getting a very high performing paddle. But with durability issues, considering core crushing, I don't think it's going to be the number 1 paddle comparing all the Luzz just because of that durability issue. It does have very good feel and very high power, but the control can be very tricky to dial in at points. At the number 2 spot, I would give it to the Tornado. The Tornado does have a little bit more power than the Cannon and a little bit more control, With the added pop off the face, I think that's where some people might take a lot of time to adjust to, and the feel is not desirable for the majority of pickleball players. Not a lot of people really enjoy that stiff and dense feel. I did, but I'm not able to speak for all pickleball players, so that's why I put it in the number 2 spot. And then coming in at number 1 would be the Inferno. I think the Inferno has the highest power out of the 3 and also some of the best control. The MPP core just allows for more pocketing and a little bit more opportunity for placement than the other 2 paddles do. I think that this would be the feel that most players are very comfortable with and wouldn't take a lot of time adjusting to. Overall, Luzz makes very good paddles, and none of these are actually considered bad paddles in my eyes. I do think that there are some that are better than others, and if I had to play with one for the rest of my life, I would go with the Inferno. Just with the durability, the amount of pocketing that the ball gets, and the extreme power behind it, honestly, to me, it's a no-brainer. Alright guys, that's going to be the end of the video for today. If you guys have ever used any of the Luzz paddles, please drop them down in the comments. Let me know which ones you're using, which ones you like. Like I said, make sure to use my code if you're looking to purchase any of these. Use code PicklePick to get 15% off. Always make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.